So hey folks, assalamu alaikum. So again in this session we are basically going to look into how to deploy, like deploying and monitoring Azure App Service web apps. Okay, so let's understand like what are the description out here. So the description is like Azure App Service is a fully managed platform as a service. So if you don't know about like PaaS or SaaS or others, you can just Google it out or Bing it out. So yeah, it's a fully managed platform as a service. So to give you some idea, platform as a service is some sort of service which also has some platform with it. So talking about PaaS, SaaS or others, it actually, these things basically defines how much you need to contribute into the cloud world. Like some cloud service providers do provide you platforms so that you can just modify some stuffs and you can just launch it for your customer. And some cloud, there are other services which are like software as a service, so that is totally a software and other as well. So it's totally and depending on the levels, basically PaaS or SaaS or others, actually you need to pay as well. Okay, the more the Microsoft or Azure is going to what I would say, more they are going to work on it or more the service they are going to provide, the more you will have to pay. Okay, so we'll learn about that, but you can just bring it out, no worries with that. Okay, so what we say is a fully managed platform as a service for building, deploying and scaling web, mobile, API and even serverless apps. So these are the services we do work on. Okay, building, deploying and scaling web, mobile, API and even serverless apps. Okay, in this lab you will learn about app services by deploying an ASP.NET Core app to Azure App Service web apps. You will also use a variety of services to monitor the app, including the application performance management service called Application Insights. Okay, we'll also use that Application Insight. You will finish the lab by configuring an alert when certain conditions are met in monitoring lab. Okay, so lab objectives. So what we are going to do, so we are going to like explain and create app service plans and app services. Okay, also understand the available app service web apps deployment options, also use deployment slots for zero downtime deployments, also monitor web apps using metrics, logs and application insights. So also mentioned here application insights as well, right? Okay, great. So lab prerequisites, so yeah, familiar with software development DevOps principle. I don't think we need that much, we will just learn about it. Okay, so starting the lab, great. Okay, so in the meantime what I can do, I'm going to the incognito and go to the Azure portal. I'll provide the sign in credentials, so the credentials will be provided out here. So one important factor is, if you just if you're watching this session, if you're like watching this video, you can't actually, maybe you've seen the whole mail and you can also see the password, but there's you can't actually use it and log in. Okay, because once I delete this lab, it will be automatically gone. Okay, so this is a blade, because like once you go into the Azure portal or something pop up, like you can see portion of the page that pops up is basically called blade, and hub is icon or category for navigation within the left Azure menu that is opened by selecting the upper left accordion icon. We just don't need to bother about it. Let's see, bridge connection. Okay, that's getting created. It will take some time for that, but we can surely go into the next tab. It is taking some time. Okay, so now let's understand what are there. Okay, Azure App Service, okay, is a platform as a service offering that allows you quickly build, deploy, and scale web, API, mobile, and function apps. The app service platform supports both Windows and Linux for running application in a variety of language frameworks such as .NET Core, Java, Ruby, Node.js, PHP, Python, and Docker containers. So these are the languages and frameworks it supports. Okay, app service plans are containers for the apps that you deploy in app service. App service plans are offered in different tiers. Okay, with more functionality provided by higher and more expensive tiers. The following list highlights some of the distinctions between the available tiers. So these are the tiers. Tiers means basically what I would say is, if you just go to a hotel, okay, so there is like obviously different kind of hotel rooms, right? Some hotel rooms are very luxurious, some hotel rooms are basic. So these are the things. So you can see we have free, which just supports Windows. Okay, run a small number of apps for free. Okay, shared, which also supports Windows but run more apps. Okay, rather than just better than the before, and provides support for custom domains. Okay, basic. Okay, this is for run unlimited apps and scale up to 3 instances. Unlimited. Okay, basic, and scale up to 3 instances with built-in load balancing. This is again important. Load balancing is something professional, I would say, companies or people do use, because yeah, this is very important. Yeah, our bridge is ready, so yeah, we are ready to go. Standard, the first tier recommended for production workloads. That is important for the production people, to handle production workloads. It scales up to 10 instances with auto scaling support and VNet integration to access resources in Azure Virtual Network without exposing them to internet. So that means it is within the Azure. Okay, it remains within Azure's total network and it is not exposed to the internet. That's great. Premium, scale up to 20 instances. You saw it was 10 instances, it is 20 instances, and additional storage over the standard tier. So that means it surely provides the services in standard, obviously, but on top of that we have additional storage as well. Okay, so I'm talking about isolated. So it scales up to like 100 instances and runs inside of an Azure Virtual Network isolated from other customers and supports private access use cases. So it actually runs within a Azure VNet, okay, which is isolated from other customers. So previously we have learned about like what is VNet and so on. If you have seen my previous sessions, you have gradually surely learned about like this is what we learned in our previous sessions. This was something Azure, it meant Azure, and within that we had VNet. We had some different VNets as well, so we just connected using VNet peering. So you can see these are VNets. Within the VNets we can have resources like virtual machine and so on. So that is all that is meant here. Like there is a isolated virtual network. Within that you will have it will run within that. Okay, so that other customers can't access that. Surely if you create some sort of peering, then maybe someone can use it for sure. Okay, so let's go to our lab and look for app service plans, and we have to create something. Okay, because you've seen like these are the app service plans. Okay, we're going to now create one for us. Later, cancel. Okay, app service plans, that's great. So we have come up here, and if you go to the create option, okay, here resource group is something we have previously talked about. What is a resource group, why we keep all of those in one single resource group? So you can check out my previous videos. Again, to keep you give you an example, resource group basically you can mean it like something like a country. So you're in Bangladesh, so whatever resource you are, if you want to go from Dhaka to Cox's Bazar or Chittagong, you don't need a visa, right? So there are no complexities and so on. So if you just keep it within their country, there is no issue. for the visa and others. But if you want to go to India, US or others, you have to look for the visa and so on. So these are the things. Just to give you an example, but this is not how exactly it works, right? Okay, so we are going to give it the name. Okay, so resource group, this is by default the Cloud Academy has created one, so no worries with that. Operating system is Windows. Okay, great. And South Central US is something we're looking into. South Central US, okay. Great. Now looking into explore price plans. Pricing tier, additional options. So now a standard is one, so premium standard. So just look into it. Standard, the first I recommended for production workloads, and it scales up to 10 instances, auto scaling. So this is something we're going to choose. Okay, this is better, right? Isn't it? So already it was selected, but if you just look into there, no issues with that. Surely we can look into now. But I have doubt with it, because surely we can't select others. Like if you want to select premium or other, you can see like free, basic, these are the things we also could select. But if you want to select some premiums one and others, there will be some issues with that. But like for example, I've just seen maybe what you can see, $4,000, right? Premium V3 or something. Let's select this one. So something, if you just select this one and create this one, this should not be good for companies out there, because we are basically doing it for the lab purpose. So we don't need to do that. We don't need that much of service, right? I just go, we are happy with standard S1. Okay, standard S1, just let's verify if that is the one. How can I verify? 100, 107 GB, 169 USD. That's great. Select review and create and create. Okay, great. Review and create, and now we are good to go to create our first app service LAN. Okay, let's create one. So you can see here initializing deployment. So it is getting deployed. So once it's done, we can see that. So here you can see app service plan by Microsoft, right? Great. So deployment is in progress, still getting updated, still getting responses like updates, but not yet sure if that is done. So how to verify? You will just see these will turn into tick, right? It is done. So go to the resource. Now the factor is everything you create is a resource, okay? And every resource you keep in basically in a resource group. Okay, so we have created a plan. So why we do that? One benefit of that is, if we just delete the resource group, everything is gone, isn't it? Right? Whatever we do, if we just create it, keep it in a folder, and if we just delete the folder, it is gone. So it's better to manage as well. So previously I gave you an example of the country like Bangladesh. Traveling from one place to another is far easier. At the same time, some sort of this kind as well. Okay, so here we can see these app service belongs to these resource group. Status is ready, location is this one, subscription is this one, subscription ID is something we don't need to focus on, price plan is S1, instance count is 1. So we did know, right? We did talk about, and we do know is like we can scale it up to 10 instances, but currently we have just one, and operating system is Windows. We surely could go for Linux as well, but for the basic ones, if you just go for free standard basic, we just had to at least for the free and shared, we had to go for just Windows only. But other than this, these do basic to isolated do support Linux and Windows. Okay, great for us. Okay, so overview, if you go to overview, CPU percentage, memory and data in, let's just check it that CPU percentage, memory, data in and data out. Okay, great. Summary, so let's just check this out. So here in the overview shows that apps and slots are currently in use. How many basically? Overview, apps and slots are, okay, how many? Deployment slots allow you to have multiple instances of an app running, have to like multiple instances of that app running. So we have just one, but we could surely create 10, right? Running. Every app uses at least one slot for production app, but additional slots are useful for testing before releasing to production and having a slot roll back to with no downtime if an issue is found in production. The overview also displays metrics on CPU, memory, data in, data out. You can use these metrics to determine when it might be time to scale up, scale out your plan. Okay, so what it means is basically about talking about this one, data in, data out, and you can use these metrics to determine when to scale up. So depending on maybe assume that you are using this web app and you've just shared it with like your customer. So during some sort of festival, the users actually get increase. So what happens is, so in the metrics you will also see like, okay, there is lots of demands, lots of users out here. So depending on the metrics, you can automatically set when to scale up and when to scale out. You can just set like maybe if it increases above 50%, scale up. If it is scales, it is less than 50, then scale out. It can happen for sure, both of which are available in the blade menu of left under settings. To be notified when metrics have exceeded set threshold, you can configure alerts. You should also be aware of networking settings, which allow you to configure access to resources in an Azure VNet or on-prem. Okay, we just don't need to bother. Now summary, in this lab step, you actually created an app service plan. You learned about different pricing tier features and saw how to monitor app service plan. So we created an app service plan, we gave some name, we talked about different price tiers, and we just selected one standard one, right? And we just knew how to monitor the app service plan. It is worth pointing out that app service plans can automatically create when you create different types of apps. Okay, so when you create, this was basically app service plan. Okay, this is not an app, right? But when you create like pointing out that app service plans can be automatically created when you create different types of apps. So if you create some app, it will automatically get created. So how can you understand that? Just talking about our previous sessions, we did create virtual machine, and when creating virtual machine, we did set our virtual network. But in general, what happens is we need to set virtual network prior to creating virtual machine. Why? Because you can see, or you can talk about is like, if you just zoom in, you see this is a shared VNet, or if you talk about, I think that's for better, the shared VNet. That means this is a virtual network. Within that we have subnets. Within that we have a virtual machine. So when we are creating virtual machine, we have to set the VNet. We can create a VNet as well. So vice versa as well. So in general, it should be like, first we should create a virtual network, then we should create a virtual machine. But if this is the beauty of cloud computing, that you can also start creating virtual machine and you can also set the virtual network. Same goes for this one. So when you are creating an app, automatically the app service plan is getting created. And where will you get the option? You will basically get the option in the settings as well. So choose existing service plan or create one. This is how it is going to work. In the search bar at the top of the Azure portal, enter app services. Okay, now we are going to create an app. Isn't it awesome? Because we have already created an app service plan. So, and now we are going to the app services. So we have gone to the app services. Great. So after that we can press the web app, create one web app. Okay, so resource group, same resource group we have previously used, and name, where you replace with random digit. So yeah, that's an interesting factor, that your name should be unique, so different from others. So resource group, same resource group, let's give it a name, and this give it a big can we do that? Invalid characters, why? Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got it. There is a space out here. Okay, now it will work. Okay, it just checks like, is it unique as well, because I just randomly press some numbers. That's something you can do. And publish should be code, and runtime check should be .NET .NET 6x. Okay. Okay, it's code to publish, and .NET 6 LTS, where X is the latest minor. Can we do anything? 6 point something? No, I don't think we have any. No worries. OS should be Windows, and region should be South Central. Should be Windows, yes. So just keep it in mind that our service plan has exactly the same region and operating system. Okay, just keep it in mind, and we're basically aligning with that, and you will know it gradually later on. Let's just talk about it. Pricing plans, Windows plan. Is that? Yes, that's the one we are looking into. Automatically, as we have already created this service plan, so it is here. You can see Windows plan. If you just select Linux, it is going to change, isn't it? Why? Just keep in mind that in the South Central US we have created a plan, and it was Windows based, right? So automatically when we selected Windows, it just selected that. We just gave that name like Cal and Lab plan, etc., and it was a standard S1, standard one. But if we just select that, let's go for Linux, this app, it just looks for, is there any plan yet? But it doesn't find any, so it tries to create one. You can see new, that means it will get created, and it is going to use the premium tier by default. But we don't want that. We already have a service plan which is Windows based, so let's just go for that. Okay, so app service plan is lab plan, so great for us. Now move to the monitoring, application insights. Okay, that's an interesting factor. So we were supposed to use that, right? Isn't it? Monitoring, I have to go for the monitoring, I guess. Let's just go for, let's exactly go to the monitoring. Great for us. But you can see basic monitoring tags and review create. So when this lab was also created, those options were not there, so it was just basic and then monitoring. So that's why the difference is also here. So we are not going to select the application insight currently, yeah, we can use that as well. Enable application insights for this lab. We're not using just for now, for this moment, but we'll know about it gradually. Okay, so now we can create the web app. Okay, so now like we're just basically creating this one. So we have already done that. We've created this one. Okay, so observe the information available in the overview blade. So let's go and check out if that's created. Yes, go to the resources, and this is basically called blade. Okay, it just pops up. So this is a blade, so we'll know about it, but gradually let's see overview blade and the command. Let's see. Web app, this is our name, like the unique number. Publishing model was code. Runtime is .NET. Like you saw, we just selected .NET. It is like, it has been like translated in totally English right now. And domains are, this is our domain. You saw we using the name, and after that Azure websites.net. Okay, custom domain, we can also use our custom domain, and we can refer that to this link. And plan type, this is our plan. this is our plan. We created this one, and we are basically, when creating this app, we just use our plan. Okay, operating system is Windows, instance count was 1, deploying center, place inside, we just stopped it. Okay, so that's great for us. So now if in the overview we have running status running, location is South Central US, UL is this one. You'll check at this thing. These are the things we can verify. Let's see, domain and so on. Let's see if that's something that's working. Yes, it's a .NET website is out here supporting Node.js, Java, .NET and more. Okay, so there are there are commands to stop and restart the application. So stop, restart, the underlying virtual machines are not stopped or restarted, so other apps in the same app service plan are not impacted by these commands. The underlying virtual machines are not stopped or restarted. Okay, so other apps in the Azure. Okay, there are some commands to get and reset this publish profile, which is used when deploying application directly from Microsoft Visual Studio integrated development environment IDE. The table below are the commands, also includes FTP information that can be used to deploy web apps and access logs for the application. Below that are shortcuts to menu in the app service blade, including app service advisor that can make recommendation based on your application CPU, memory, connection history. Lastly, there are handful of charts for monitoring key metrics. There is usually few minutes of the deploy before metrics are displayed in the charts. Okay, click browse in the upper command or to navigate the URL of the app in that new tab. So we've done that. I refresh the page in a few times to generate additional metric data. Okay, so we just do it like we're refreshing this one. So implement slots, made different cloud authentication. Surely we can use it like logs and so on to check. Welcome to log analysis. Was this? I just don't want to do it. We can just do some query out here to find out like from the logs. Surely sport matrix automatic. Yes, that's good. Press the quick start and so on. Does that work? Yes, it refers to that one. That's good for us, no issues. Okay, refresh the page a few times to generate additional metric data, so we can do that for sure. Now we have successfully created an web app. So firstly, we did create a service plan, app service plan, and now we have created an app, right? That's good for us. So we have done with both of the tasks. Gradually we'll learn about others as well. So from here you can see create a staging deployment slot, deploying a web app using deployment slots, monitoring Azure web apps. Then we will use application insights. So when we were creating this app, we didn't actually use application insights, but we will do that later on. Let's see what happens. Okay, so introduction for another part, that is deployment slots. Okay, it basically allows you to have separate instances of your application that have their own host names. Okay, so as we know, our app has just one instance, but we can scale it up to 10 instances. So it allows us to have separate instance of our application that have their own host names. Okay, it basically is helpful for that. This is useful for several reasons. You can organize your workflow by having dedicated testing and staging slots in addition to the default production slot. Once you have vetted a new release in the staging slot, you can swap it into production to avoid having a warm up the production application. By swapping releases into production, the previous release remains in the slot where it can easily be swapped back in the production if an issue found in the new release. Okay, so it basically helps us in the release and so on, maintaining. In the app service, now click deployment slots under the deployment section in the app service. Okay, let's go to here. This is basically app services. Okay, yeah, deployment slots. Within that, within our app, we've just gone to the deployment slots. Wait a second. Just if you just go back only to the app service. Wait. If you just go to here, manage tailored apps, you can do that. Manage view, refresh. Web app. No, we don't have the option. So the only option we have is I can go to here. Do we have quick start? Export health check metric API clone app. You can use that, no issues. Okay.